It's all smoke and mirrors, folks, because they're just lying to you. They're lying to you about the economy, about the job numbers, about the wages. I mean, heck, it's hard to find out what they're telling us the truth about. This was shown in a very embarrassing way recently, as the GDP numbers had actually had to be revised down.
Yeah, so this is a fairly modest revision. I mean, just down, 0.3 percentage points on an annualized basis to 2.1% versus 2.4% previously. And the underlying component suggests that, a lot of that was due to, or at least a hefty component of that was due to the pace of inventory building, which actually mechanically, could provide a boost to 3Q growth. So I'm not overly concerned about, the revisions that took place in terms of what they're suggesting about the pace of growth in the second quarter. But what I did find interesting is that we did get the first release of real gross domestic income, which is an alternative way of measuring output. And, historically over time has tracked real GDP quite closely. That came in at just 0.5%, so plus 0.5% on an annualized basis in the quarter. So suggesting that growth was a fair bit weaker. And that sort of continues a trend in divergence that's occurred over the last 4 quarters or so in those two measures. And it suggests to us that potentially the economy isn't as strong as what the headline real GDP numbers are suggesting.
Wait, what? The economy isn't as strong as the real GDP numbers are now suggesting? Wow, I'm blown away. Who would have thought, right? Well, we did. All of us right here in this community understood this already, but hey, anything to put out good numbers to the masses, right? But again, just to repeat, the GDP number for the last quarter isn't 2.4%, it's 2.1%. And of course, it's being spun into a story where it's not a big deal. But you guys know me, right? I went into detective mode to confirm if these revisions are normal. So I found one study of revisions on payroll employment, and since our Bureau of Labor and Statistics revised employment numbers for March, I thought it would be a good idea to make the comparison. So they reported that the employment numbers were off by more than 300,000 jobs. And I know that I've talked to you guys about this before, but you're gonna understand when I make the point, all right? So again, they revised the numbers down, right? Now, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, there are 2 kinds of revisions, obviously up or down, right? Now, if it's revised up, then that would mean an expansion. If it's revised down, then it most probably means a recession or a contraction. Well, what do you guys make of that? Y'all could check their website. It's all there. Now, you gotta wonder, and I want you guys to think about this clearly. Who do you think benefits the most if we're provided with fake numbers? I mean, you don't have to comment it, but you could talk about it with your friends and family or even your colleagues. Now, speaking of that, make sure you share this video, drop a like, and subscribe if you appreciate all the truth that I provide you guys on a daily basis. Appreciate the support, you guys. Now, moving on. The message from the federal government is very, very clear. This entire economic plan named after the president is working, and Americans are no longer struggling under the pressure of inflation.
Our plan is working. It's working.
But what exactly is Bidenomics? The man himself has a definition.
First, making smart investments in America. Second, educating and empowering American workers to grow the middle class. And third, promoting competition to lower costs to help small businesses. Bidenomics is about building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down.
He aims to funnel money to priority areas like chip making, clean energy, and electric cars. That's meant to revive manufacturing and put U.S. workers first.
Workers aren't just finding more jobs, they're able to look for better jobs at higher pay.
So, is it working?
Okay, it's not like they've told us what's really happening in a while, right? I guess that's why I do what I do, because you guys deserve the truth, all right? So let's not get too cheesy here, but let's get back to it. The message is that everything is great. But did you notice how households who receive on SNAP benefits were reported to have skipped meals in August? Not all of them though, just 42%, which is a lot of people. Even worse is that 55% of them ate less because they couldn't afford to buy food. Obviously because things have become too expensive that these benefits are not able to keep up.
Food banks across the Bay Area are seeing an influx of people struggling to make ends meet.
It's a full hour and a half before opening, and the line at the New Gethsemane Church of God in Richmond is already stretched around the property. Don Wagner has been waiting since 8 a.m., hoping to get some meat and cheese to feed a family of 5.
This is my first time here, but I'm hitting 3 or 4 a day that I have to go to get enough to basically feed all of us.
A special ed teacher, she was diagnosed with MS in 2016. She's been living off her disability check and CalFresh, also known as food stamps.
You want this one or this one?
But in March, her CalFresh pandemic bonus ended. Now, instead of $584 a month, she's getting $192.
You can't live off of SNAP and EBT benefits alone, but it's not just the food. They're now dealing with utilities being shut off. So that's water, electricity, stuff we need to survive. And when it comes to housing, some folks are saying that they're now unable to even pay for such things as rent, as many Americans are now being forced to take on even more debt. Now you got to think that these are on credit cards. So if you go ahead and mix that with 20% something, somewhere around 20% for interest rates, it's just a disaster at this point. But no, let's talk about how fictionally strong this economy is. This is why I'm on here every single day trying to warn you guys. If it's not at your doorstep yet, these problems are probably going to be creeping up on you pretty soon enough. Now, this affects the entire nation, all 50 states, not just a few cities, not just a few states. It is coming for everyone. And if you're not preparing yourselves now, then you're just setting yourself up for a failure in the future. This reminds me of what could be coming for us in the future. A world where employers are going to forcibly remove workers from their jobs. Like, look at this.
We got word from the company this morning that 30% of the employees at this plant here on Viking Drive in Virginia Beach will be furloughed, and that'll be for differing amounts of time. I'll get into that in a moment. If you do the rough math, back of the envelope math, it's about 600 employees. About 1,900 people work here overall. We had a chance to go inside last month for their Lighting the Future summer camp. We're hearing that the employees were informed about all this at noon yesterday, and I spoke with an employee who has been furloughed in the past hour. He said they made everyone get out of the facility, even if you were not being furloughed, and the majority of the people were not being furloughed, and everyone is getting paid days off today and tomorrow, and reportedly those who will be furloughed will get 2 weeks' pay. Now, the furloughs, I'm told, will last anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks. And a statement from the company reads in part, due to softening market conditions, Steel Incorporated has made the very difficult decision to implement temporary furloughs on select manufacturing areas in our Virginia Beach facility, impacting approximately 30% of our workforce.
The company also prepared the Virginia Beach police outside the premises to, well, they said they were just there to direct the traffic. But I mean, did they expect something bad to happen? Because they furloughed these people with so much class, right? It's like breaking up with someone through a text message and then telling them you have 8 minutes to pack your crap at home and get the hell out. You know what's weird? The CEO of the company said that they had huge profits just this April, amounting to billions of dollars, and the city government gave them like $500,000 to expand. I guess times are rough, even though you're getting lots of cash, huh? But I don't want to lay it out on Still as much. The issue may also be connected to a transition to more battery operated tools, because we all know that the market is largely based off of gas powered tools. But what do you think? Is this just another sign that things are not what they seem? Make sure you guys let me know down in the comments down below. Before I go, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you guys' input. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.